You're listening to The Red Zone on 103.3 WZND.
And welcome back into the WZND studio. We're joined by Wenkers Wright, a running back for the ISU football team. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very excited for this opportunity, no doubt.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and doing this interview with us. I know that you had a pretty big game at Wisconsin last week, maybe even more than you saw the field a little bit more than you thought you would, I would say, with the injury to Cole.
Yes, I would say that is correct. The injury happened so early in the game, the nerves had not even set in for real. So I was out there pretty early, but at the same time, it's kind of that next man up mentality. So I had to just take it and run with it.
Did you guys get a chance to go on the field before the game and just take Camp Randall Stadium in, so you weren't shocked when you got out there for the first quarter?
Yes, we did. I think I was out there for about 30 minutes, just warming up and just looking around, and everything was just breathtaking. It was probably the best football experience of my life, just from seeing and stuff. Yeah.
Was that the biggest stadium you've gotten to play in?
Oh, no doubt. What was it, 80,000? Oh yeah, capacity.
I mean, Blake learned. We were all on the call there, so Blake, you learned.
I was not. I was there as a fan.
Yeah,
I was
watching as a fan.
Yeah. I was on the Wisconsin sideline tripping for you.
At least helping us out.
Yeah, I was trying.
Blake, what did you learn about the seating? They took some seats away in the offseason?
So actually Camp Randall initially was 80,000 and some change or whatever, but in the offseason they actually revamped and added in some new suites in there, so it was only about 75,000. So believe it or not, that stadium was louder at some point than what you were playing in down there. Can you believe that?
I cannot believe it, because especially during that jump around part in the fourth quarter. I had a friend, he was up there and he was sitting where the concrete was solid, but with everybody jumping around, that concrete slab was shaking.
Oh, did you feel it on the field?
Yeah. I did feel it on the field. Oh my gosh. That's how crazy it was, especially when they got the pick six too. That might have been the loudest part of the game, where the fans were all going insane.
All right, so maybe off football for a second, but so you've been in Bloomington Normal for 2 years now. Where's your favorite spot to go get food?
I got to say Chipotle.
Really?
I got to say Chipotle. Back at home, all we have is Qdoba. And so I tried Chipotle, and I don't know if this is going to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's not even close.
I'm with you.
I'm a Chipotle stan, so that's a good answer, but I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with something more local. Everyone loves Pub 2 cheese balls. That gets a lot of hype. The burger baskets at Brujas. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything?
Well, even if you're talking about similar food, La Bamba in Uptown is also a good burrito spot if you've ever been there. But
is that the spot with the sushi?
Yeah, they got sushi and burritos. It's a weird combo.
Go there.
So yeah, we just want to talk a little bit more about maybe the football side of it. So why was it ISU for you? When did you commit to ISU, and why was it about it that you really loved?
It was there during COVID, so I never had an in-person official visit, but I did have a Zoom meeting with all the coaches, and something about the coaches, they were just really genuine and personal. So I sat down with my parents, we watched the Zoom meeting, and after that, we just decided on that school just from the coaches' experience and what they could offer me.
So I actually know that your head coach, James Bragg, from Floyd Central High School, he's actually an Illinois native himself. He spent a little time coaching in LaSalle, Peru, which is just 40 minutes up the road from here. How much of an impact did he have on you in making this decision and your coaching or your career playing up to this point?
Yeah, he had a pretty good impact, because he was always reaching out to me, texting me saying that some coaches were wanting to reach out to me, and another standpoint, he had family member here, like you said, so they were already rooting for me before I even came here. Before I even committed, they're like, we can't wait to watch him play in Illinois. But since then, Coach Bragg he's been a huge part of this, and he's always one of the best for us players in the future for football.
Well, Wenkers too, I think you might have one of the best names in football. I got to ask, do you have a nickname on the team by chance?
I do not. They call me Wenkers.
Really? I would like to offer you a nickname that we were talking before the show. I mean, your initials are WW. What about Dubs or what was the other one?
Was it Double Dub or Dubs, something like that?
I do like Dubs.
We were surprised
really
that wasn't given to you by the teammate or anything. Yeah, I did a little sign with it too. But talking about maybe more on your team side of it, who is somebody on the team who you really vibe with when it comes to road trips and stuff like that? Who is somebody who's the guy on the road trips, maybe with music or games or stuff like that?
I think I got to go with two, because my roommates for the past 2 years, Daniel Sobkowitz, the receiver, who had a pretty decent game at Wisconsin, so we should see some pretty big things coming out of him. And then Kylan Stevens. All three of us, we kind of vibe. We're always getting along. So I would say on the road trip, I would probably find myself gravitating towards them the most.
We always love to hear about what goes on, behind the scenes, and even just those human moments. Aside from Camp Randall, so maybe thinking more about last year, I know you did redshirt, so maybe it wasn't as often, but where was somewhere that you played that you really enjoyed?
That's a good question. I think I like South Dakota. I didn't really like the weather up there. We were so far north. I'm not a cold person. We stayed in this hotel called Canada Inn. So that tells you how north we were. But at the same time, the hotel and the stadium were both connected. So we didn't have to step foot outside, and it was a dome. it was a dome stadium as well. So I really liked that experience, not having to go outside, but the hotel was extremely nice, and it was like really nice. It was probably the nicest place.
Very nice.
And I think going back to the game, too, against Wisconsin, because I think some of the fans would probably be interested in that. With the Cole Mueller injury happening, did you get to talk to him? Like, how quickly did you get to talk to him, especially with the situation with you going in, getting more playing time?
It was actually a lot quicker than I expected because I thought he was already going to the hospital or something. But right after halftime, he was on the sidelines, already bandaged up and on crutches. And I just went over there and I told him I'm praying for him and hoping him for a speedy recovery. Then after the game, I also got to talk to him some more. I took his bag. I got everything taken care of for him. I carried his stuff, got him situated and everything.
Well, that's awesome on your part. It seemed like there was not just Cole, but a couple of players on the ISU team who went down in the game. What do you credit that to? Was it something with the field, or was it something on your guys' side, or Wisconsin?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you why, but it might be just Wisconsin, really, because we came in, we hyped them up a lot, so the nerves were there. But at the same time, I think we overhyped them, if I'm being honest. But at the same time, we had Jack Dwyer. He went down, but it looks like he's going to make a pretty speedy recovery. He went down on a kickoff return.
Happy that Jack's going to be able to make a speedy recovery there. Kind of diverging off of the Wisconsin game now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about you yourself. It's my understanding that you were born in Haiti, actually. So coming over to the States, how did you get interested in football growing up?
It's actually a funny story. I was actually really into soccer. Me and my brother both, but in the soccer, in the orphanage, we played soccer barefooted, so everything was just rougher. So I went from soccer in an orphanage barefooted on gravel to a soccer with cleats and grass, and I was just tearing it up, but I was too aggressive. So my dad was like, let's put you in an aggressive sport. And since then, I have not looked back.
So how old were you when you moved to Indiana?
I was 6 years old.
And with being an aggressive sport, was it always running back for you, or did you get some defensive playing time too?
It was running back, but I was both sides. So I got some safety, linebacker at one point, and some corner. I think I like corner the most on defense.
Well, you know what they say is that corners are wide receivers that can't catch, but we know you can catch, especially after that 26-yard reception against Wisconsin.
Yes, so I've really been working on my catching for the past couple of years, and it's improved tremendously.
It showed the other day. I saw on Instagram that you were running track in high school as well. What was your career like for that?
I think it was pretty good. I had a few hamstring injuries, but at the same time, when you're healthy, you just got to take it. I picked up hurdles my junior year. So for 2 years, I picked it up, and I somehow made it to state. Very blessed. And I had a pretty good group of guys, great coach, and we were all like family during track. So I wouldn't miss any of it.
Do you think we'll ever get to see you hurdle over a defender, like maybe in a big play on offense?
Oh, yeah.
It's coming? All right.
It's coming. I should have done it last game on that sideline. As soon as I got tackled, when the guy hit me low after that catch, I was sick to my stomach.
Well, if any of us
would have jumped him, I would have scored.
If any of us are on the call when that happens, we'll make sure to say that he called it back in the booth in September.
Hopefully here soon.
Well, also, too, like, you might have the chance to do that on the big screen, too, because NCAA 23 is coming out soon, and Illinois State has a team, if I'm not mistaken, from the previous one. So are you looking forward to that coming out soon?
I am looking forward to that. Seeing your name on, like, a video game, that's dreams right there.
Speaking of video games, you put up video game numbers in high school, 4,200 career rushing yards there, and that's very similar actually to ISU alum James Robinson, what he put up in high school. And as I was watching you in the Wisconsin game, I was like, he kind of looks like him a little bit. So I was wondering, do you model your game after anyone, and who's an NFL player who you inspire yourself from?
I think the running back I inspire to be the most is probably Alvin Kamara, just because of how shifty he is, and he's not an overly big guy, but he just gets skinny in the hole and he hits you hard and he can catch really well too. So I think I would like to be him one day.
I mean, also too, like, you really did show that you have that wiggle as well. And going up against a tough team like Wisconsin, what was like the most impressive or difficult thing about playing a Big Ten team like that? That's a perennial like national contender.
I think probably the most difficult thing was probably on kickoff return because me and the back returner were back there excited for a return opportunity. But, at that level, they just cook everything in the end zone.
I noticed that. Everything was going over your guys' heads. And you think that was on purpose? It
was on purpose. Their kicker, we already game planned against him, and he's like 80% it's going in the end zone. So we knew coming in we wouldn't get too many opportunities to take it out.
Why do you think that is? Why do they not want you to try and run it back?
Well, if it's deep in the end zone, there's not much sense to really taking it back because you're just going to lose yards versus...
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, why do you think they wouldn't even try to kick it to you guys?
That's a good question. Like, I feel like a team like them, they would want to kick it to us and see what happens.
Exactly,
really.
Yeah.
So
I think they're scared of you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Gas
Yeah.
yourself
Let's go
up
with
for a
that.
little bit.
No, we're definitely going to go with that. I definitely saw fear in their eyes running down the field.
So turning to Valparaiso this week, that's going to be on Saturday here at home. Are you excited to start your home schedule, and what are you guys game planning for this week?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Our main game plan for this week is just to respect your opponent, not to fear them, respect them. So, that'll give us that opportunity just to give our best in the game. So we're excited to kick it off at home. We're hoping to have a really big crowd, and just, put on for Illinois State.
Is your game day preparation going to change at all with like a little bit more of an increased workload, most likely?
Yes, I think so. I'm really going to have to just tone in this game because, now it's looking like I'm the starting back, and then we have a really powerful rotation coming in too. So it's just really making sure I'm like in the game mentally.
What's your relationship like with your other running backs behind you now? Because I assume with what we saw in Wisconsin, you're going to be splitting some time a little bit with a guy like Nigel White. So, what's your relationship like when you're preparing with your teammates like that?
Yeah, us running backs in the locker room, we're always next to each other before a game. So, and then off the field, we're always together at Coach's house doing stuff. We have a little Madden, Madden Mobile League going on. And so I think we're a pretty close group of guys, and we're always joking around with each other on the sidelines and stuff. So I love every single one of them.
Do you have a fantasy league too?
Yes, we do.
Who's the best? I was going to say who's the best Madden player, but who has the best fantasy team looking into this week?
Coach O had a pretty good run last year, but I'm going to say me. Even though the season hasn't started, I'm feeling pretty confident.
Who's on the squad this year?
Let me think. I have Devontae Adams. I'm a big Packers fan. I'm
God!
Oh, I love that. This is my new favorite player. Oh my gosh!
I'm disappointed I didn't get Aaron Rodgers, but I got Matthew Stafford and let's see, Aaron Jones from the Packers.
PPR or non-PPR?
No PPR.
Ooh, that might be a little tough with Aaron Jones.
We're gonna see what happens, but I'm feeling confident.
So some of us are Bears fans here, but Dane is a Packers fan as well. So that's what the groans and the cheers were for.
What are the chances?
What does the Packers thing come from? Is that something that in Indiana a lot of people were, or where did that come from?
There's the Colts there too for now.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying there's Packers fans in
He just has
Chicago.
good taste.
That's
Let the man
question.
live.
That's a question I get a lot, but they have the same colors as my high school and my middle school, green and gold. So growing up, I was like, they look like my high school. So
So does
that's
Waubonsie
crazy.
Valley.
Yeah, I went to Waubonsie Valley in Illinois, which is also green and gold. So it was so much fun being a Packer
Man,
fan
I
there.
like you already.
Oh, I'm blushing right now. Can people see that through the
We're gonna get
radio?
along just
Thank
fine.
God they can't. But Wenkers, it's been great to have you on. So we're going to round out the interview pretty soon, but just looking forward to the rest of the season. What is something that you guys are just really aiming for as your big goal at the end of it?
Well, the big goal is just to next man up mentality. We know Cole went down, so Coach O is really relying on us backs left to just hold down the fort while he's gone. Put on for our team, and one of our biggest goals is to have really good ball security. The football wins the game, so just hold on to the ball. And each game about 200 yards, and if more, get more. Get as much as you can get, and just show off this year.
Yeah, I think that's all the time we're going to do for this interview, but we really appreciate you coming in, Wenkers, and maybe you can have you on again sometime later in the season now that you're a friend of our show here. So
I would love to come on.
We
anytime.
really, really appreciate it. Thank you.